tofu. It comes in many shapes and forms. Some of them can be harder to work with than others. It broke. It's great for vegetarians and non-vegetarians alike, and it's something that the world has definitely gotten behind. So today we're looking at 5 tofu dishes from 5 countries. Let's get started.
Hi, my name is Nadya. I live in Pontianak, West Borneo, Indonesia. The dish that I want to share with you today is called Tahu Bejek. In English, Tahu means tofu and Bejek means smash or crush.
Alright, I'm gonna go drain this.
Tahu Bejek, I believe, is originally from West Java, Indonesia. It is made with just a few simple ingredients, which is tofu, garlic, and chilies, all fried and mashed together in a mortar pestle. I love this dish because it is so easy to make, everybody can make it, but also it packs so much flavor and the spice from the chili has a little kick. This dish also helped me get through the first trimester of my pregnancy. It was the only form of protein that my body can tolerate at that time. When eaten with warm rice, the tofu becomes so creamy and comforting.
Ah, that scared me. That just popped hot oil all over me, and Nadya even says in here, 5 to 10 seconds any longer and they might pop and splash hot oil everywhere. So if you're gonna try to do this, seriously be careful because the top of my wrist hurts. Oh, I have like a couple red marks.
Oh my god. Should put some ice on that.
I'm gonna ice it. I'm icing it with my dog's food. That's all I have. I guess I have loose ice cubes, but that's like too cold, you know? Gotta get something middle cold. Actually, this is really cold. Ow.
Tofu becomes so full of flavor, salty, umami, and with just the right kick from the chili. And the best part of it, it's only 3 ingredients and the preparation of the dish is very simple. There are a few variations, but this is the simplest, most home-style version.
I'm supposed to do all this in the mortar and pestle, but look how tiny my mortar and pestle is for all that tofu, so I'm gonna do it in a bigger bowl. Because this is gonna take like 5 different rounds, maybe honestly more than 5 rounds, and I do not have the patience for that, so I think a big bowl is fine.
You might came across this dish if you visit a Surinamese restaurant that serves West Javanese food.
I gave it a little taste and I don't have enough sambal in it, so I'm gonna use my sambal that I keep in my fridge to add a little more punch to it. I think that that'll help.
I myself is actually quarter Surinamese from my paternal grandmother, but she passed away before I was born, so I never got to know her and I never really connect with that part of my heritage. But somehow Surinamese food always keeps showing up on my table, and I think that's a sweet little nod to her. Like in many East and Southeast Asian countries, tofu is a common dish in our country. We don't treat it as a special vegan or vegetarian food. It's just an everyday food here. If you can get your hands on some tofu and some chilies and some garlic, I really hope you give this dish a try and love it as much as I do.
This dish was easy enough to make, but because I didn't make enough sambal, I had to add my own, which, you know, I think is okay, but I didn't quite get there. I'm worried there's not enough sambal. I wonder why it wasn't enough. It's beautiful in its simplicity, for sure. I'm gonna have some rice with it though. It's a little spicy. I added a lot of sambal at the end there. Tofu just doesn't have that much flavor on its own. The texture of the tofu is a little crispy on the outside, but still soft on the inside because we only fried it for a little bit of time. Mashing it with my potato masher was definitely the way to go. I was able to do all of it in one shot instead of having to separate it multiple times with my little mortar and pestle. The tofu has really taken on the flavor of the sambal, which is something tofu does because it doesn't have any flavor on its own, but it really can take on whatever you give it, which is why it can be so different country to country. Whatever flavor you want to give tofu, it's gonna take it. I'm gonna have another bite here. I'm really enjoying this. It's interesting that Nadya said that this dish got her through her first trimester. It definitely has a lot going on, but it makes me think of my pregnancy cravings episode, which I'm gonna link to in the description. That had some wild combinations in it. Oh, that's weird. Raviolis and Doritos and hot sauce. The hot sauce is good. It's cutting a lot of the flavor. It's actually pretty good. The tofu is definitely the hero of this dish. It's super simple to make. Just be careful if you're gonna make your own sambal because it definitely spurts. Cucumber.
Hi Beryl, my name is Nonoka and I'm from Tokyo, Japan, though I live in Singapore now. The dish I want to share today is called Toumeshi. It's a portmanteau word made out of the words tofu and meshi. Meshi means cooked rice in Japanese.
I feel like I'm doing surgery. No. Silken tofu is really stressful because I don't want it to break, but I can't get it out. Oh, come on. I need to rethink this. I have my dull kitchen shears, which by the way, I'm not getting ads on TikTok because I must have said near my phone I need kitchen shears, so now I'm getting ads for kitchen shears. Anyway, I'm gonna cut this and hopefully I'll be able to get it out in one piece that way. More surgery.
Yeah, I would get rid of all of those sides.
We got the sides off. So now I'm gonna try to flip it again. Oh, you've gotta be kidding. Oh, there we go. Only a little bit broke. That's not bad.
Toumeshi looks entirely brown. No vibrant colors, so probably not as aesthetically pleasing as some other more famous Japanese dishes. But it's an easy comfort food that you can hunker down with on a cold winter's day. It's made of very simple pantry ingredients, some stock, condiments, rice, tea, and of course, tofu.
I'm waiting for the tofu and I'm waiting for the tea, so let me show you what's inside one of my drawers because a lot of you wanted to see a kitchen tour. So first of all, this is my kitchen. It's pretty tiny, as you can probably tell by my width, my wingspan over here. And I'm gonna show you inside my most used drawer, which is also one of my worst drawers. So this is my accessories drawer. So this is a cherry pitter, which was from my cherry episode. I've never used it again, but I bought it, so I'm gonna keep it. Spatzel maker, which I've used a couple of times. This is a German dish that's kind of like a pasta. Also, have only used it on the channel. This is the Chop Wizard, which is one of my favorite things. You've probably seen it in other videos. I use this all the time. A tiny bundt pan from my New Year's episode. This was to make a Brazilian pudding, which I didn't do a great job at, but I did an okay job at. It was kind of holy. Not in a holy way, but a holy way. My mortar and pestle, which is something I do use a lot in my everyday cooking. I grind spices with it, and I've used it many times on the channel. This was a wedding gift. Good one.
Toumeshi originates from an oden restaurant in Tokyo. Oden is an iconic winter street food in Japan and is a dish made out of various ingredients stewed in dashi stock and soy sauce. Toumeshi got very popular during COVID, and now I think it's here to stay. Although it's relatively new as a food, the flavor combinations and the ingredients are very classic Japanese ones. That's probably why people really took to it. It tastes of familiarity and comfort.
It broke. Oh. After as careful as I tried to be, my tofu still broke. Silken tofu is really good, but it's really delicate. So now I have half and then 2/4 in here, which is not what I was going for, but what are you gonna do? I'm feeling very disheartened. It's breaking again. Why? Oh. It's frustrating because in my mind, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be so beautiful. I'm just gonna have to cover it with a lot of green onion on top. Then you won't see the breaks.
In Japan, tofu is seen as a food with its own distinct flavor. We appreciate the savory, nutty, and slightly sweet flavor of the soya beans.
Just a light rinse, it says.
As well as the variance in textures, ranging from silken to extra firm. I love this dish because it's so easy to make, and yet so nutritious, filling, and comforting. You should try Toumeshi because it's an easy to make, satisfying, nutritious meal that incorporates classic Japanese flavors.
I think that this dish looks totally beautiful considering it's a brown on brown dish. I like the juxtaposition of the green onions on top. Nonoka said that this is not a chopstick dish, it is a spoon dish, which is right up my alley. Oh, silken tofu, it's so delicious and soft, but so difficult to work with. Here's the crack that wasn't there before. There's another crack there. And this just split in half anyway. Ugh. Wow. There's so much flavor going on in this. Wow. You can really taste the mirin and sugar. There's a sweetness to the tofu, but then the soy sauce comes out and rounds everything out. You can also really taste the green tea in the rice. You can smell the green tea. I've never thought about cooking rice with tea, and it turned out really cool. Like, I've tried doing it with chicken broth, but for some reason tea, I don't know, it just never came to mind. I have a lot of hojicha tea left, so if any of you are interested in making this, I'd be happy to send you some because you can only find it in specialty Japanese markets. So just leave a comment and I'll get back to some of you asking for your address and I'll send it out. A little tea party in the mail. This is a really easy way to eat an entire half block of tofu. It's just so flavorful and soft. The rice on its own has this nutty, earthy flavor that's coming from the roasted green tea, and it pairs really well with the kind of umami rich tofu. It's a nice blend for sure. I think honestly 10 out of 10. The tofu soaked up so much flavor. It is not a bland dish at all. It tastes beautiful and I think it looks really beautiful too.
Hello everyone, this is Darlene Antonio and I'm from Philippines, currently residing here in Muscat, Oman, and I'm going to share with you my family's recipe of vegetarian adobo.
My kitchen has no air conditioning and I'm now roasting eggplants over just a blazing open flame in here. It's reminding me of my eggplant episode when I had to roast eggplants this way. It is a slow process and a hot process. I need a fan.
The ingredients are Japanese eggplant, a block of firm tofu, Chinese black vinegar, soy sauce, and of course garlic.
I have a new vinegar, this Chinese black vinegar that I get to add to my vinegar drawer down there where there is no room for it. So let me just show you what we're working with. Ta-da! So let's see what we have. Korean rice syrup, which I made the drug eggs with. Chinese mature vinegar, not black vinegar. Bangladeshi mustard oil. Mexican chamoy. Malaysian sweet soy sauce. Filipino sauce. Liquid smoke. This is a cool thing. Pomegranate molasses. Wait, I have another pomegranate molasses.
Wait, you do. It's in there.
Oh no. I have another pomegranate molasses in there because I didn't realize I had it in here. Oh God. Because pomegranate molasses shouldn't be in this drawer. What's this? I don't even know. It's in Korean. I don't know what this is.
Every Filipino family has their own variation of adobo. And typically when you say vegetarian adobo, they would often use either water spinach or snake beans. And I'm going to disappoint a lot of Filipinos for me to say that I don't appreciate any of those because the acidity of the vinegar makes the vegetable tough and chewy. My mom learned this recipe from another family, but she put her own twist to it by roasting the eggplants instead of frying them.
You definitely want to let these eggplants steam for a while and sit because now that I have to peel with my fingers, it's not that hot and it's going okay. It's a little frustratingly slow, but it's not that bad. Like sometimes I get a good peel and that feels really good. Like when you're peeling an egg and you get it, ooh, I just got a good peel. Look at that, baby. Yeah, that was a good one. Anyway, what was I saying? Like an egg? Peeling, a good peel is like when you're peeling an egg. Ugh, I lost it. All right, anyway.
I put my own spin to it by using the Chinese black vinegar because of its subtleness and its earthiness. This dish reminds me of Lent.
I'm very nervous to pour all this in here because we didn't use 6 eggplants. I'm nervous because it's a lot of liquid. I think it'll be fine. The tofu's gonna soak it up, but I'm still nervous. It's just like a lot of vinegar and a lot of soy sauce. Ooh, why am I even nervous? It's cooking. It's fun. We're having fun. No one's nervous.
As a practicing Catholic, we're not allowed or we're not supposed to eat red meat during Lent season. So this dish is often on rotation and even requested. So I hope a piece of my family will find a place in your kitchen.
This dish was relatively simple to cook, but it made me buy another ingredient that I didn't necessarily need to be buying more of, which was vinegar. You can smell the vinegar, but it doesn't smell overpoweringly of vinegar, even though there was 1/3 of a cup of it in this. I'm definitely tasting the vinegar now. It might be, honestly, for me, a little heavy on the vinegar. The tofu is so nice, and the eggplant is so creamy and smooth. Yum. Super easy to eat. I just kind of stuffed my face there back to back. Roasting eggplant on my stovetop, which is what we did for this dish, is not something that I often do because I am a very impatient person, but it does net you a gorgeous, silky eggplant, which is something that I don't think you can attain as easily unless you're gonna do that type of roasting and then steaming cooking method. You know, I did say that it felt a little too vinegary in the beginning, and it does, like, you can taste the vinegar, but I like it with the rice and the tofu and the eggplant. That taste really combines well with everything. The eggplant is really soft and silky, like I said. The tofu is a little bit chewy and a little bit crispy from having been fried. It's a very nice balance of textures and of flavors. And considering it's just soy sauce and black vinegar, it's surprising to me because it feels more robust than that. Darlene said that the Filipinos might be coming for her for this recipe, but I don't think you guys should. I think this is delicious and it tastes super special. It tastes different than anything I've ever had, and the tofu shines, which is what this was really all about.
Hi, my name is Stefanie and I'm from Suriname. So Suriname is a country located on the northeast of South America, and we're neighboring French Guyana, and Brazil. Fun fact about my country, it's the most forested country in the world. Last time I checked, around 93% of the country is still covered in rainforest. Suriname is a carbon negative country as well, so I'm very proud of that. So for today's tofu dish, I'd like to share Tahu Lontong. Tahu Lontong is literally translated to tofu rice cakes. So it's like rice cakes eaten with tofu. And the name comes from the Japanese, Indonesian words Tahu Lontong. This originally from there.
So I'm about to make rice cakes, which will be the first time I've ever even attempted this. And of course, I need banana leaves, which is something I already had in my freezer because you wouldn't be an international food content creator if you don't just have banana leaves on hand.
I am a Surinamese person of Japanese descent. My great-grandparents were from the island of Java. They came to Suriname in a time where indentured laborers, indentured workers came to work in Suriname.
It's kind of looking like mashed potatoes. There's no individual kernels left. It's just kind of like a homogeneous mush. So I think that this is the right consistency. Now I'm gonna wrap it.
It's a pretty complex and a pretty painful history that we haven't really healed from yet, but the Japanese Surinamese community persevered. They preserved their culture, one of which is food. It's a testament of how strong they are, and I couldn't be prouder of my great-grandparents and their perseverance.
Okay, day 2, the rice cakes have been in the fridge all night, so now we're gonna cut them up. Ugh, banana leaves smell so good.
The country is around 164,000 square kilometers, but the population is just over 500,000. So we're pretty small population, and most of us live along the coastline.
Stefanie said that I can use firm or extra firm. I decided last minute to go with my extra firm tofu because it's been sitting in my fridge for a little bit, so extra firm this time. Ugh.
Along the coastline in warungs, these are like restaurants run by predominantly the Japanese Surinamese community. And in these warungs, you can often find Tahu Lontong. Making Tahu Lontong can be a lengthy process, but I've always found Tahu Lontong when I needed to and I crave it because I'm not always in the mood to make it. So I'm very fortunate in that way that it's widely available.
I'm completely making up this sauce. Like, I have no idea the ratio. There are no instructions for how to make the sauce, so I'm just going for it. Oh, I mean, it's sweet soy sauce, so you can't really go wrong. It's sweet soy sauce with a kick now from those 2 green chilies. I think that tastes pretty good. It's garlicky. Maybe a little more sweet soy sauce to counteract the big amounts of garlic I put in there. I'm adding soy sauce because I think it needs a little bit of salt to it. So I'm just thinning it out this way. It's a fiddly little thing, but luckily it's just a sauce, so you can just keep alternating. Okay, I think that's pretty good.
So there are many different reasons why I love Tahu Lontong. Almost everything is bite-sized. There's like beautiful, soft, delicious rice cake. There's like deep-fried golden tofu. There's like, delicious melt in your mouth fried garlic and onions. And there's like this beautiful sweet and spicy soy sauce. All the textures, all the flavors, all the components together make a perfect dish.
I have a big bowl of tofu and rice cakes. It's heavy. This is definitely something that is very different from anything I've ever made before. I have never made a rice cake myself. When I dressed it for the video top-down shot, I didn't put that much sauce on it because I didn't want it to look too dark. But I also think I need way more sauce in order to enjoy this. So I'm doing it now. Rice cake is good. We have success. Tofu is good. There was a lot to do for this dish, but ultimately it's quite simple because it's just fried tofu and this rice cake. The rice cake did take a while to make. It was an overnight affair, and I had never pounded rice like that before, so that was something cool to learn.
It's so bouncy.
I know. It's like fufu. The dish itself is really about the sauce, and that sweet soy sauce with the garlic and the chili in it. Because otherwise, it's just tofu and rice by another name. One thing that I am getting is the essence of that banana leaf from when we wrapped the rice in it, and it's a very subtle flavor, but it's hard to describe, but like it's there. And whenever you've had rice that's wrapped in a banana leaf, you'll know it because it's got this je ne sais quoi, but an eau de banane, which is really lovely and just adds a little bit of a floral note to the rice dish. I like the sauce. Sweet soy sauce is one of my favorite things, but man, is it a sticky, sticky bottle. Ugh, look at that. No matter what, it always leaves the sticky residue. Ooh. I would highly recommend you all have sweet soy sauce on hand. It's so good with eggs and rice, but it's a dirty bottle to keep in the house. That's for sure. I cannot keep it unsticky. Stefanie taught me a lot about Suriname. I did not know that much about the country, but the fact that it's covered in forests like that and that it's a carbon neutral country, I think that's all so interesting. I am jealous. My country is not like that. at all. I wish we were. I feel like mostly this dish is a play on textures, and it's just a reimagining of what tofu and rice can be like. And for that reason, I'm really enjoying it. And I'm also really enjoying it because that sauce is awesome.
Hi friends, hi Beryl. My name is Z. I currently live in Boston, Massachusetts, but I grew up in Florida, which is in the United States. The dish I want to share today is barbecue pulled tofu. This is a riff on your traditional American barbecue pulled pork. Pulled tofu is made very differently because you would need to treat tofu very differently than pork, as you might imagine. In the barbecue community in general, when you're making pulled pork or pulled chicken or, brisket, whatever, there's a lot of debate about whether or not to use barbecue sauce. This is not the time for that debate because we're working with tofu, and tofu is not meat. And you do want to put a barbecue sauce on it. You do want to have the experience of biting into a bun and having sauce all over your face. That is the vibe we are going for here. So do not skip this step. If you are not a fan of super saucy barbecue, then put it back in the oven for 5 minutes and let the barbecue sauce get like really sticky and kind of gummy and dry, and like let it adhere to the tofu. That's fine, but don't skip the sauce.
This is so satisfying. It feels so good.
But at that point you are done. You can go ahead and serve this. My personal favorite way to do it is just put it on a hamburger bun, call it a day. I really like this version because it is a lot faster to make. It is cheaper to make. You don't need to plan out your day around it.
I'm almost done already. This is a really easy recipe so far. I just have one more step left. I didn't mean to interrupt to say that, but it was just surprising.
It is still incredibly soft, incredibly tender, packed with all the flavor that you put in it, but with about a third the work of a standard pulled pork. Pulled pork is a very common dish across the United States, I would say, especially in the South. It was really like a Southern food. It's not as popular in the Northeast, where I currently live, which is kind of unfortunate. I miss my barbecue a whole lot, and that's one of my favorite things about getting to make this.
I've got to get it wet. Z said to make this wet and saucy, and I have not gotten there. I was too timid. Too timid. Glug, glug, glug. Ah! Ah! I don't know. I think I could even do more. All right, that's got to be enough.
Honestly, I would recommend this on its own, even if you are a meat eater, because it's delicious and it's convenient and it's easy and it's cheap. I would especially recommend this, however, if you are somebody who wants to try tofu and you're really intimidated, because it is packed full of so many different flavors and it has such a different variety of textures. And even though it's the main star of the show, it's more of a vessel than the lead singer. The barbecue sauce is going to be your lead singer on this, and it comes out really delicious.
I've got a pulled tofu sandwich. Pulled pork tofu sandwich. That's an oxymoron. I've got a barbecue pulled tofu sandwich here. It's like a sloppy Joe. Barbecue sauce will make anything taste like barbecue, so I can't tell that I'm eating tofu. I feel like I'm eating meat. The texture is really nice. If you're gonna make this, you need to use a barbecue sauce that you like the taste of, because that's really the only taste that's happening here, because tofu doesn't have any flavor. So I'm just eating barbecue sauce with texture. And for this, it's good. This barbecue sauce I got when I visited my friend Lisa in Kansas City, and it's a very famous barbecue spot. And I like the sauce. It's sweet, it's tangy. With the tofu's like a little bit crispy still from being cooked in the oven, so it's not just super soft. The bread is super soft. The tofu is, obviously it's soft, but it's got like there's a little bit of something that it's fighting back with. I think this is like a great vegetarian option for barbecue. I don't think that many vegetarians are looking to get into barbecue necessarily, because it's definitely a meat eater's game, but to shake it up a little bit, try something new, I think this is really good. Also, I'm just not somebody who loves barbecue. I just don't eat that much meat, and it's so meat heavy that this is right up my alley for sure. It's interesting because it just doesn't taste or look like tofu. It's like messing with my brain because it looks like pork or beef or any sort of pulled meat. That's what it looks like to me. Curious. I will say for sure, Z sold me on this. They described it perfectly. I loved their little giggle. That made me really happy to listen to. The dish is fun. Honestly, it's a great new way to look at tofu. I hope you liked this episode all about tofu and you've gotten some new ideas to try this ingredient in a new and different way. All the recipes are in the description and on my website, beryl.nyc, and don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps support the channel. Until next time, I'm leaving you with our first tofu episode and a chickpea episode, and I will see you all next week.